Hello, guys, and welcome back to Joe's Ventures. And today, as we can see, we've got another month come along, another end of month, another dev diary, or another dev log, I like to say. And this one is for July 2023. So this one's going to be a bit smaller than the last one, not announced anything big and new, but it's a bit of an update. So I'm quite excited to get stuck into this one. It talks about some more of the like hunting and fighting and things like that, which I know everyone's real keen to know about, but I'm really excited to get stuck in this one. Really nice picture as well. I like this one of the Velociraptor jumping up. So, welcome to July Development Update. Over the past month, we've been working hard on our animal overhaul and Update 8 as a whole. In this blog post, we'll be providing a quick status update for the release and talking about how our new AI integrates with our future plans. You also have a really wonderful picture of one of the Velociraptor skins. A really big fan of how that Velociraptor's come out. Looks really wonderful. So, state of development, animals. So, to keep it brief, our biggest ongoing tasks is delivering animal AI. We've got a great plan going behind the scenes, and quite a bit of the data side has seen a lot of work, which is really good. For those unfamiliar, this is going to be an expansive and highly dynamic tree of decision making that needs to support future content like hunting, fighting, and the potential of even more behaviors. So it'd be very interesting to see what other behaviors could be added. That'd be really cool. Rather than the incredibly discrete, rigid behaviors, this new AI figures out the best action to take using its brain, TM. So instead of just going like a robot programming, oh, I'm hungry, hungry, actually make decisions based on different factors and things like that. So it'd be really cool to see that. So this animal's brain, TM, we could say, manages an animal's physical needs. So that needs to keep hungry, its hunger, its thirst, its temperature, against its emotional needs. So its contentment, its boredom, its fear, and its sociality. So that leaves a lot of room for emergent behavior as we add more complex features. So it's basically trying to make it almost as realistic as possible, because you may be really hungry or thirsty, but there may be like a rat sitting next to a cup of water, so you'd be like, oh, I don't want to go near the rat, unless it's like a pet rat, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll go hang out with the rat. But if there's like a tiger sitting next to, I'll use tiger better example, because pretty much everyone's scared of tigers, even though they're very cute. If there's a tiger sitting next to a water bottle, and you got to grab it, you're going to be like, even though I'm really thirsty, I'm not going to grab it, for example. So it's kind of creating something more organic rather than the kind of rigid, discrete behaviors that the original AI had. So a good example, which is a really good one they've explained here. So example, a freezing triceratops, so that has a low temperature, so it's living out in the cool tundra or boreal forest in your zoo. It's like, let's say your zoo's in like northern Alaska or something, and it's really cold. So it may fight a T-Rex out of desperation for low contentment plus high fear to get to a nearby heater. So it's like, I need to get to this heater. So if this Rex is blocking the heater, I'm going to fight this Rex because I need this heater. But in any other circumstance, it would avoid it. It's like, it's not worth the fight. But if the animal's really cold, it may actually be like, this is actually worth, I need that heat. It might be worth fighting the T-Rex for. So that's a great example of explaining how it works. And you can see this little bit of a mock-up. You can see the trike there. Really love that trike. And that Rex looks so awesome. Even though this is a mock-up, so animal fighting is not planned for Update 8, but that is something that might be planned in the future. I know a lot of people are really into dinosaur fights, but to me, I don't really mind because it's a zoo game. It doesn't really need to be expansive. Like Jurassic Park, Jurassic World Evolution had it, but it's kind of weird when you're trying to like have this high welfare area and then you have dinosaur fights as well. It's a little bit weird, kind of weird juxtaposition. A lot of people like those fights. I thought it was pretty weird in terms of gameplay, but that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people like the dino fights, and it's a video game, why not? But anyway, in this iteration of the animals, a huge amount of effort has been put into improving performance over the old. So, while making AI more dynamic, the new animals will run better, think quicker, and make far better use of your hardware. So that's another good thing coming up. After 1.8 is shipped, the team will begin working on the animations needed for the eventual combat and hunting mechanics. It's too early to give you concrete examples of exactly how they work, but know this. Our goal is to keep these animals as dynamic and interesting as possible. It mightn't end up like ultra cinematic Hollywood monsters. You know, they're roaring, they circle each other, and they have almost like a corrugated fight, like a choreography and things like that. It's not going to look like that. It's going to be highly synchronized. It's not like that. Dueling animations, but we've designed something that we think perfectly fits the PK's varied size and species. So it's going to be something that's more realistic, like more raw, because animals in nature, they don't have these highly choreographed fights. They're just like swinging their heads or mouths at each other, trying not to die. So that's probably how it'd work in the end. And you got a lot to account for because there's so many different varieties of animal sizes, and especially now you're adding like mammals and stuff into the mix. So there's going to be a lot of variation that's going to be needed to be taken into account. Yeah, really, really cool. Definitely think that's going to be a cool update. Really love to see the animals, because that's obviously the star of the show is the animals. You want the animals to behave dynamic and interestingly, and really help develop that connection to them, because you can have an animal with almost like a personality. It responds organically like an animal and not like a AI robot. So that'd be really, really cool, personally. Next up, we've got guests. So in addition to animals, we've also made a ton of fixes, tweaks, and adding pathfinding improvements to guests. So alongside smarter path dispersion, a new queuing system to prevent hordes of guests from swarming your facilities, so that's pretty cool. And that allows only a few visitors to stand by and wait for your service. So there's only going to be a few waiting, they're not going to queue up too much, I imagine like in real life. The management view overlay for guests has seen an update. So high concentrations of dissatisfied guests will now appear red in the heat map. So updating as visitors resolve their needs and move across the map. So that's actually really, really cool. So you can see what areas where they're not happy, you can fix that and change it, and that can really, really help, I think. So I think that's quite cool. Allows you to target the parts of the park that you need to change. And also having this queuing stuff, I think, is really good as well. As you can see, hang out there. They'll just hang out there and wait for the person. In real life zoos, often you'll do that. And like in theme parks, so like I know everyone's kind of gone to a theme park before. If there's too much of a big line, you're just like, oh, I'm going to go off and come back later. That's kind of what everyone does. But yeah, really, really awesome. There are many more improvements that we'd like to make, but in a lot of cases, you should definitely feel and see a difference in Update 8. So it's very nice to see some changes there, and especially the pathfinding and animal AI is going to get a big change. That's going to be quite awesome. But yeah, smaller one today, as I said. Community Spotlight, we've got by Lucy, that's what we say, Lucy257. Really, really nice one. This reminds me of Dinosaur. You've got all the iguanodons climbing down the hill there. I believe there's actually a fossil site that has like a whole herd of like iguanodontian dinosaurs walking up the side of a mountain, but like that's not how it was. It was like that's the tectonics pushing up the hill. So that's very reminds me of that. Really, really cool picture anyway. Nice like desert design. This one as well looks like almost like a bit of a theater. You look down into it, you can see kind of that there. I'm not sure what this actually holds, but it looks like it could hold like a mammoth or something, or maybe some rhinos. I don't know. Looks really, really cool regardless. And one down at the bottom here. Who was that done by? This was done by Kersey. So Kersey did like this dug-in habitat, which looks really, really cool. And this next one, Attention. So this is kind of like a foyer area. You can see there's like stairs going down. I believe this looks like for like Protoceratops. You can see this kind of, or maybe even Velociraptor. You can see this kind of smaller enclosures here. You can see, I believe these are most likely the mini exhibits just put in the walls there. It looks really, really nice. And then you can see this little cave here. Most likely like an indoor shelter or something for an animal. I really like the design. It reminds me of a real life zoo. So you obviously can only win if it's a real life zoo. And they have this really nice picture of a Velociraptor jumping at us. Really, really cool. Definitely love how those animals come out in the end. So yeah, thank you for reading July's Dev Diary. Once we begin wrapping up development for Update 8, we'll provide the community with a release window and give an extended look to our upcoming animal overhaul. It's taken a little longer than we'd hoped, but all coming along very well. Update 8 is going to be one of PK's cornerstone updates, and we can't wait for you to play it, so thank you for all your patience. So, in typical pre-restricting fashion and most game fashion, you plan for things and then they never go to plan. So, it's one of those things that you've got to... game development's very much... you have all these deadlines, but sometimes you just got to... especially with a team that's as small as Prehistoric Kingdoms. You've just got to wait and be patient and wait for the content to come. And it will be coming, because we've already proven, because we've got early access and everything, so it's definitely going to come. It's just going to come when it's finished. So yeah, definitely a big fan of how this update's shaping up to be. Love to see more dynamic animals. I'm always a big fan. Really love that picture of the trike. Though we're not going to get fighting, I need to admit, we're not going to get fighting yet. That's going to be coming in later updates, but we're just going to get more dynamic animals. But yep, a really, really awesome update. So, yeah, I really, really, really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. Always remember to hit the little bell icons to get notified of anything. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys like and subscribe, and bye-bye.